Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Great Wizard Bukake, your host. Our heroes are waiting for Fallonmeyer Pinkblossom in the Misty Forest. Butthole won over the tavern keeper in Daggerford. Juniper focused on getting medical help for her halfling friend's zombie disease, and Quinny was so loopy he ended up talking to a donkey. Can Fallonmeyer save Quinny, or will he die while revealing her as a fraud? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
After an eventful day that felt like many episodes, Dum-Dums, you have finally managed to rest. You've arrived in the Misty Forest, the realm of the Wood Elves, and ruled over by King Melindrak, the King of the Woods, as he is called, as you await the arrival of Fallonmeyer Pinkblossom, who you hope will be able to help Quinny with the pesky zombie disease he's picked up. So, you have been put up for the night in 3 kind of treetop eco lodges, little Ewok huts. Quinny's been given a poultice to take care of his zombie dragon bite until help can arrive, and all of you finally have a chance to rest. Whether or not you do is up to you. How did you spend the night? Did you actually sleep? Did you stay awake? What happened?
Butthole's resting, but then checking on Quinny every hour. Not like a huge amount of anything. It's just literally wander into the room, see how his breath's doing, is he breathing, etc. Go back to sleep.
This would be funny if Quinny was like doing things during his downtime.
I don't know.
Come in and check his breathing while he's like at a desk writing or something like that.
Honestly, slides a mirror under your nose.
Here's the thing. He'd do the same thing no matter what. It would just be how much does he chat or not. It's like a nurse checking at the hospital. They'll say hi if you're up, but...
I think Quinny's passed out. I think he's still got like a fever probably, and he's still like sweating and probably having like furtive sleep, like kind of like tossing or like thrashing a little, but trying to just sleep. Yeah.
Nice. How about Juniper?
Sleepy. Get up maybe twice to double check Quinny, but...
Oh,
great.
But we know it was slowed down, so she's feeling okay.
It's a shame it just prevents your 8 hours. I'm kidding. You can have all your spell slots back.
You.
I'm a scamp.
Oh, Tomo.
So you can all recover your health. You can all get your spell slots back. Everything is fine.
I'm recovered up to the cap imposed by the zombie disease.
Correct.
Got it.
But he's had his long rest, so anything he lost from his other zombie-related attacks would be back.
Yeah, your max health is back up to normal max health now.
Oh, because the disease hadn't taken any of your max health? That was from other necrotic hits?
Separate zombie problems.
It was.
Hashtag zombie problems. Yep.
What?
So the health cap was from the rot breath, and that goes away after a rest.
Got it. Yep.
The disease sticks around because it's a separate
and you have to test every hour for that. So he had 2 different
I've been
necrotic
passing the
conditions.
Yep.
With surprisingly good con rolls. Those would have been great for maintaining fly, but...
Yeah. Now, if his max health had been reduced by the con roll failures, it would remain down. But it was reduced by the rot breath.
Gotcha.
Which is a real... If that thing hits you more than once, it gets very, very bad very fast. So good. GG. Okay, so morning breaks. It's morning in a forest, though, so there's light coming in through the trees a little bit, but it's generally just a slightly brighter, misty... kind of dark space to awake to. And Quinny, you awake to find Fallonmeyer Pinkblossom sitting in your room, looking out the window. She hears you rustle behind her, waits a couple moments before she can say, "Oh, I didn't see you there, but my third eye did."
Quinny will like wipe the sleep from his eyes. And I have a question for you about that would inform how he's physically feeling. Did Fallonmeyer arrive and fix him, or did she arrive?
Not yet. She
waited so he could be awake to see her fix him.
That one. But she also literally just got here. So she's been sitting here for an hour being like, I hope it doesn't die. Like she got here a few minutes ago.
Okay. Then I think it's just after you get a full night's sleep, but if you still got like the flu or something like that, like he still just kind of feels shitty. He looks better, but not 100%. On paper, obviously everything is fine, except he's still got the disease, so it will start to affect him again. But he like rubs the sore spot of the wound from the dragon bite, and we'll say, yeah, see, I knew you just wanted to see me naked.
And she narrows her eyes, says, "To think I traveled all this way to bring my considerable gifts and understanding of the magics, only to be met with such crude conversation. But also, congratulations, apparently." She gestures to your hog.
Jesus Christ.
I'll walk through that door if you want to open
Yes,
it.
I wasn't like, look under the bed sheets. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, in that case, she doesn't know. She just assumes that you're proud of
It
whatever you
sounded
have.
like the way you said it was you stood up and were
Oh,
naked.
yeah,
So
I meant
yeah, no.
sat up in bed, but yeah.
Oh, that's
You're
fine.
still
So
sheet covered.
Yeah.
She just
Okay,
generally is like, I hope you're happy.
Morning Hogwood.
Oh, she says congratulations. Yeah, the hog rises with the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hog also
Hits,
rises.
hits me in the chin. Ah, fuck, every time. Anyway.
Some more Vincent Charlemagne's like, I need a shower immediately. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
But she says, so I understand, Mr. Brown Barrow, that your famed dexterity didn't keep you out of the way of the fangs of a zombified dragon.
Yeah. Look, yeah. Our bullshit aside, turns out I'm really sick, and you seem to know or might know how to fix it. So,
And bullshit aside, I'd be happy to. I simply didn't want to do it without speaking to you first and making sure it was okay.
it's very okay if you can do it.
She
The
reaches out a
bullshit's
finger
sort of lowly coming back in.
and just bumps you on the nose. And immediately, it's like, you know those, I forget what they're called, but they're like, is this a sachet where it's just like a bunch of like flower petals and other things in a little like ball, and it just like usually like a little silk like satchel or something. It's just like,
It's a bath bomb.
yeah, kind of like a bath bomb. And often, like, my experience of them was like my great aunt would have them just like around the house in drawers and stuff. And it was just like, random floral smell. It's that. You just get hit with like this blast of random florals in a not entirely pleasant way. Like, it's not like walking into a store that does this really well. It's like walking into a store that does it medium to poorly. But as you blink, your vision kind of narrows back to focus. And you just that ick you've been feeling is no longer present.
Whoa. All right. All right, you win this time. Thanks.
If your continued existence in my life is considered a win, then I suppose so. But given that is as close, I believe, as you get to manners, I will simply say, you're welcome.
And Quinny will just like silently nod and be like, she gets the last word.
She puts out a hand. My payment?
I'm sure King Butthole has that all in hand.
Just as cheap as I expected. And then she just curls the other fingers up into a middle finger, kisses it, and walks out.
And I'll give that to her too. Just like no rebuttal. Yep.
Quinny, not even willing to put a hog in a hand as requested.
She wanted coins.
Jesus
He wanted
Christ.
to know the circumference.
No.
She could not care less.
No.
She walks down. She
No
walks down.
one should.
Butthole,
by
are
the
you
way.
still
No
asleep?
one should care.
Are you still asleep down the hall?
If it wasn't on the hour, then yeah, he'd be asleep, but starting to wake up.
She goes, as you're waking up, she goes in and does the same thing, sits down by the window, is like adjusting her skirt, like just clearly like much less, like none of the floating. It's just real like, my underwear's kind of stinky. Hey, there we go. Like,
Oh, you have
Little
problems with
wedgie?
your underwear?
no,
That high insight.
of course not. Simply adjusting things. Your Highness turns sweeping and says, good morning.
Good
I
morning to
have
you too.
healed your Minister of Culture, Mr. Brown Barrow,
Wow.
using my magics.
Fallonmeyer, I can't thank you enough for all the stuff that you do. It's really impressive. He stands up fully, dude. Just said that, he's not even thinking about it.
Congratulations.
Oh, for What?
I'm a fan of body positivity. It doesn't come up in conversation very often, but
That's true. It doesn't. He puts on he's just going to start strapping on his armor. He knows Fallonmeyer. This is pretty functional. Yeah, so thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it. Met the king here. He seems pretty cool.
yes, King Melendrak.
He seemed haunted by something about doing bad things for people we loved.
Oh, yes. Well, he would bring that up. Your Highness, there was a, shall we say, adventure or perhaps module that occurred here not long ago.
Oh, okay.
And unfortunately, the king, well, I can let him tell you about it, but the king suffered some tragedy, and I believe it haunts him still. Your reputation may precede you here, and he may have some questions for you based on your own experience.
Okay, does he have the bodies of the dead people?
Oh, no, it's not that kind of...
Oh, okay,
not
because
that
I'd bring
kind
him
of
back
help.
for him. He seems cool.
I don't know that would actually solve his problem.
Yeah, souls have to be
And
willing.
she walks over, doesn't glide, actually walks over and just puts a hand on your arm and says, you would be doing me a great service if you could help talk him through this. You don't need to ease his mind or make him feel better about what happened, but he is distracted, and I need that distraction gone. There's enough moving in the world now with the Captain Toriel situation that I need to make sure that all of the people under the area that I serve, both here and in High Forest, are focused and not distracted.
Great. You agree that Captain Terrell's like a fucking scam, right?
Yes, that is part of the reason I am so eager to assist with your mage problem. I worry that such a power unchecked will lead to horrible, horrible things. The weave is somewhat more fragile than I tend to let on, and I fear that he will tear right through it.
Yeah, we're not going to let that happen. I've already killed the King of Hell. We can take this son of a bitch right out.
That is nice indeed. But yes, no, he is a piece of shit. We have to deal with that. And I am concerned that if people aren't keeping their eye on that particular issue, that it will start arriving on doorsteps. I don't know if you have porn huts where you are, but...
Yeah, we have one. It's getting removed.
Yes. Ours were in ancient elven wells that were converted for the purpose some time ago, and we
Pornography,
came in
yeah.
to find them. Well, people make wishes down the well, and it turned out a lot of people were wishing for porn.
Yeah,
so,
especially the elderly. The greatest generation were really attached to those huts.
I mean, anyone can enjoy it as long as it's done reasonably. But my point is, Your Highness, that we awoke one day to find that someone had constructed new wooden but also metallic structures in their place, their content huts. Mm-hmm. This is deeply concerning.
Yep.
We read the terms in service and have had them removed, but the porn wells will never be the same.
It's true, and the elderly who do not understand how to use Bringo the Imp are having a real porn shortage.
It's that's a separate problem for a separate
So few 7-Elevens carry it in this area. You guys should really stock up.
7-Eleven?
Yeah, they're open 7 days a week. 11 days a year.
11 days.
Damn.
Well, we could perhaps
No
manage
wonder
that.
the businesses are failing.
I was going to say, we couldn't possibly manage that, but that is a very reasonable amount of time for a store to be open. Only 11 days? Very
Well,
doable.
the trick is it's 7 days every week. They say 11 days a year, but they never really do the math. They don't allow calendars inside. It's a corporate problem.
7 days a week, 11 days a year.
It makes it really
11
hard.
days total.
Their resupplies are so mistimed. They
So
can't tell when it's supposed to arrive because they don't have calendars.
So we have both a calendar and a pornography issue.
Yeah, that's it. They really think every year is 11 days. It's run by a very specific brand of kobolds who have like a really weird religion.
This sounds like it might actually just be a ploy by big calendars to sell more. For if the year were only 11 days, one would need many calendars, would one not?
Fallonmeyer, you're a genius. I bet you already know where to get all the porn.
She looks out the window at where the well used to be. I do not, but the magics do.
Perfect. That's right. Time to fill up those wells with porn.
You see,
Just like the good old days.
Yeah.
Your Highness, the bigger concern is Captain Toriel.
Oh,
the
I
porn
agree.
thing we can sort out on our own. I'm more worried about the angry god.
But if you're worried about the elderly vote, they'll turn away from Captain Trill for a couple of wells full of porn in a
Elderly
heartbeat.
vote.
I don't know if you know what I do, but I appreciate your suggestions. As always, Your Highness. Now, can you go and talk to the grieving king about his dead son?
Oh, I didn't know he had a dead son.
You do now.
But he
It really
doesn't have the
casts a
body.
pall on this whole conversation.
Oh, wow. I spent so much time talking about pornography, and instead I should have been talking about a dead son. I'm so
You're
sorry.
gonna have to change gears just mentally.
Oh, no, same gear.
Okay. Okay.
I shall leave you to it. I have received several messages from your Anin through the magics.
Oh, that's
I
good.
anticipated them all, and then was surprised by how many and how frequently they came. But it would seem that our magic school will be moving ahead somewhat soon. I look forward to working with you on that, Your Highness.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We're going to do some cool stuff.
Great. Please ease the king's mind. Do not bring up the pornography with him. He will not care.
No, that's valid. When my family was dead, I didn't care much about pornography either.
I shall go check on the Chief Justice. And she floats out the door.
All right, well, time to go visit a king, he says, strapping on the last of his armor, his cape.
Great. Juniper, what did you do overnight? You slept.
yeah, slept.
Are you up and around, or are you still sleeping?
She'd get up whenever she was fully rested. She wouldn't
Right.
kind of lie about, and doesn't trust Pinkblossom to know what she's doing, so has prepared lesser restoration and has also prepared detect poison and disease.
Wow.
Is ready to,
Yeah,
to use it
hell yeah.
to go and see Quinny. So she'll actually probably just go do
see
that
Quinny.
anyways.
So while you're doing that, Fallonmeyer goes to your room, sits down on the ledge, arranges herself, and just is like sitting there. And eventually, while you're in Quinny's room, she's ahem. Ahem.
Oh wow, you are healed. Oh, all right.
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
just gonna
fuck
get
it. And
dressed.
then you just hear footsteps as she leaves.
I don't know. If she wanted to talk, she can come find me.
So you check on Quinny, cast your spells.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
And then, I will head back to my room to gather my
Yeah,
things.
that's fine. Fallonmeyer's gone.
She's
She's
gone.
come
All
and gone.
right. Well, missed opportunity for her.
Go to Butthole's room to check in. He's gone.
Yeah.
Yep. But yes, it does reveal that Quinny is now fully cured. Disease is gone.
Yay!
All's right with the world.
Thanks.
Eggs for all. Butthole, you make your way to King Melindrak, who is now kind of in an observation platform up one of the high trees, just kind of overlooking the forest. It's like a ranger station, like just a tall little hunting platform up at the top, and you're it's a ladder situation, so you're kind of clambering up. But you find him, and he's staying there wearing much the same outfit. He didn't bother with the crown for you, since you're a king.
Yeah, neither did Butthole.
So his hair is loose from the braids and just kind of blowing. He's staring out over the tops of the trees in deep thought.
King Melindrak, good morrow on what perhaps may not be a good day.
King Farch, yes, my days have been somewhat burdened of late. Please welcome. Oh, you climbed all the way up here in your armor. My apologies. I would have come and met you somewhere lower.
Oh, no, this is nice. You got to move around in this thing. I climbed a pole yesterday. I wasn't quite as nimble as I wanted. This is good.
Fistful of nuts and berries.
Oh, well, thank you. I do love nuts and berries, and he'll take those and eat them.
She just reaches into his like a little sack on a stool next to him. Just eats a fistful.
He's
as
one
well.
of those granola kings.
Yeah.
Butthole's going to take out his refillable beer stein and say, beer?
Yes.
Bonk it on the railing so it
He
fills
just
up
holds
and
out his
offers it to the
hand.
king.
Yeah,
He'll
pours some in
set
his
the
hand.
mug in his hand. Oh, my God. Wow,
Drinks
sure.
it out of his hand. Says, Oh, that's crisp. Where did you find such a thing?
No, the stein just keeps refilling except when it doesn't.
Interesting. I have to forage for my nuts and berries, but it's fine. I like it.
I think that makes you stronger for it.
Thank you. King Farch. May I call you Butthole?
Oh, yeah, go for it, buddy.
Excellent. I only have the one name, so it's still just Melindrak.
Good name.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to speak to you not about matters of state, though I am very glad to hear that Akar has fallen and that Asgard has risen, And I certainly, as I said yesterday, appreciate all you've done. Is your halfling okay?
Oh, Fallonmeyer did great work. He's 100% or so, I've been told.
She's so fucking smart.
Oh, this is the smartest.
Understands the magics.
And, like, pretty and organized. It's so wise. Like, that lady knows what she's doing.
No, all day. She's great. We had an incident in our region a while back.
I heard you had a module.
Yes, a tyranny of dragons, if you will.
Oh, okay.
There was a lot of draconic activity in the area. The dragon cult rose yet again.
I heard about them. That's a bad one.
Yeah, not the best, not my favorite. We were called to a council, the Council of Waterdeep, in order to determine what could be done, and I brought the full weight and power of the Misty Forest to the aid of those who needed it, and thought we were doing some good, only to discover that my son, Narronvein, was in fact a worm speaker for the dragons. I thought he was dead. I had exiled him long ago after a variety of quarrels, and then to discover that he not only was alive, but that he had joined with such malicious forces, brought me a lot of discontent, a lot of disquiet. Luckily, some adventurers were able to defeat him. The tyranny of the dragons was averted. But now I find myself wondering what could have been, considering my own actions and how they drove him to this, and how much evil he brought into the world as a result. You, I understand, had almost the opposite journey. Your parents ran a car, and you destroyed them.
Yeah.
Bringing an end to their tyranny.
Yep.
You may be the closest person I can ask to my son what that was like, how you feel about that. And you, of course, needn't answer. I'm not asking you as... This is not a diplomatic question.
Oh, no, I'm a pretty open book. Like, feel free to ask. And, like, don't worry about asking it all smart. You can just ask the thing you want to know.
I know no other way to speak. I am a king of elves.
Okay.
Pensive, thoughtful, long-spoken. Nuts?
Oh, yeah, I'll take some more nuts. Thank you. Absolutely. Beer?
Oh, yes.
Oh, sure, there you go.
Very good. Very good.
Good nuts.
Just wipe my hand on this cloak here.
Yeah, and I'll just drop these shells into the trees.
Meanwhile, Fallonmeyer Pinkblossom is just walking along, shells right down, and she says, So what could your parents have done differently? What did you hope from them when you confronted them from when you arrived in a car? Did you simply seek to destroy them? Was it too far gone, or had you hoped?
Oh, I was hoping right up until the end. I mean, my dad, I didn't have a ton of hope for. He was kind of like a real problem, and he had like a mind control spell on me. So if he talked, I did whatever he said. Oh. And then we kind of ran into him, and he told me to kill my friends, and then I almost did. But then my friends managed to murder him, and it was like a weird anticlimax. So he was pretty confirmed villainous through and through. I'd always assumed my mom was just kind of like put down and had like a really shitty husband who was like making her do a bunch of evil stuff. So I was pretty determined that I was on a liberation movement from like a stepdad, but I didn't really know him. So he's not really a stepdad. He's just kind of Grayson. Like, I don't have to call him stepdad. I could just call him Grayson. But like, I don't know. We had to fight through the army, and we had to get there, and then we got there, and then it turned out she just kind of had sucked the whole time. It was Team Grayson. And like, that was a real bummer, because I was ready to like liberate the whole damn thing. She could have stayed on the throne. I don't need to be king if there's like a good person to be in charge. But then she was just so fucking powerful that there was like no option. I had to get their evil, they become liches. I had to get their evil lich hearts, which honestly was like, looking back, I probably should have realized that becoming a lich is a pretty big commitment to evil, and people can't really like casually turn you into a lich. But then she basically, between her and Grayson, who's not my stepdad, Grayson, just a guy, Grayson, now just a corpse, Grayson, now just dust, Grayson. I had to crush their hearts and watch them die. And that's how that kind of thing ended. So if she'd been, I don't know, in any way decent.
And he takes a deep breath and lets it out and says, I'm sorry for what you had to go through.
Right back at you, buddy.
It seems as though your parents and Grayson just...
just that guy, Grayson.
Yeah, just some guy.
Some weirdo.
had in you a proper heir and a proper child.
I mean, that's what a lot of other people have said, but they really preferred the like murderous, gem-snorting psychopath they had.
Yes, no, I understand that. You deserved better than that, and they deserved, I believe, what they received in exchange. Elves are very long-lived.
Mm-hmm.
It makes familial relationships complex.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of assume you have a lot of time,
Mm-hmm.
and then you don't always.
Yep.
But Narenvain was quarrelsome, arrogant. He was quick to action, rash. I have been accused of being perhaps too cautious, perhaps too slow to action. But the kind of things he wanted us to do, the speed at which he wanted us to do them, he lived more, forgive the broad generalization, but like a human, one with less time, one where immediacy was of more import. He never could have ruled here. And what I've been troubled with is the possibility that I could have saved him, turned him around, brought him back onto the path. But it sounds like, through the inverse, you did try that and still had to destroy them.
Yeah, I mean, none of it's really like it's not always like a one-to-one, but I think there's this idea, I'm not a parent. I've kind of adopted a lot of siblings, but I don't have like a lot of adopted kids. I'm like a godparent. But like when it comes to kids, there's like this theory that they're like whatever you make them, tabula rasa, just come in blank, and then you kind of get to like turn them into whatever person you want. And then if that's true, then there's this belief that like everybody who parented a person they turned out to be a monster parented them into a monster, which is really abstract. But if you look at that, I theoretically got the same treatment, at least in the beginning years as Reginald. Maybe. I don't really remember being a baby. But like, there are a lot of people who seem to have multiple kids, especially at like an aristocratic level, and I'm sure you've traveled, where like some of them are really nice and some of them are just total bastards. And same parents. I mean, some of them might not be, but like statistically, a bunch of them are going to be from the same parents. You could be like, this super nice person here came from the same people, the same system, same thing. This person next to them, weird, hateful monster, same parents, same treatment, same power, all that kind of stuff. I think that people have like a lot of proclivities when they come into the world. Like they've got their own beliefs. They've got some stuff that like gods throw in. They got a bunch of just random crap comboing parents. You can see stuff that comes from like, oh, they got the nose of the great-grandmother on this line. Rich people tend to have a lot of paintings of dead people. But it means you can't always make them into a thing. Yes. And eventually, you as an adult kind of need to like embrace the fact that like you can kind of blame bad parenting for like how crap your life is. Definitely when you're like a teenager, and then like your 20s are a pretty reasonable time to be like, my whole life is based around having shitty parents. And then like even your 30s ish, you get some of that stuff. I mean, I iced my mom when I was like 38. So like, but once you get to your 40s, you gotta eventually go like, okay, no matter what happened when I was a kid that I didn't like, I gotta be who I am now because there's only so much life. And like that's a human for an elf. I mean, the time. I was going to
say our 40s. I mean, you're still just learning your ABCs at that point.
Absolutely. But there's a certain amount of getting over some stuff that you got to do. So it sounds like, if you got somebody and you're trying to do the right thing, do you think you did the right thing? Do you think you had the right intentions? Right intentions is more important than right thing, because that's the question. Did you care about your son? Did you try to raise him to be a good person? Did you try to support his dreams?
He takes a fistful of nuts and chews it thoughtfully and says, I suspect that I was more focused on being a good king than a good father a lot of the time. But as I said, we are long-lived, so our kingdoms are ancient, fragile.
When you say long-lived, do you mean like you're 60?
Oh, no. I'm in my hundreds.
Oh, you're like
I'm up there, yeah.
Wow, like 102? That's old. Most people don't make it that long.
Keep rolling.
105?
Look, I don't want to say it to create a weird, unnecessary age imbalance. I would say that I am the elven equivalent of your 38.
Okay.
Actually, I'm probably more the
great
elven equivalent of like
man. Now
55. I'm down the road.
I'm going to get stuck on this if you don't tell me the actual number. I promise I don't really. I talked with like a god the other week and it didn't make it weird.
I am 453 years old.
Oh, cool. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's a bit of a different scale, but
Ish.
still.
I mean, it's still 40s, kind of, just with an extra
Oh, yeah, I get it for an elf.
magnitude on it. But in any case,
How old was your son? Before, at the time he was maybe exiled.
I exiled my son and when he would have been considered a young adult, so he was 103.
Okay, so yeah, an unruly teenager.
But he died around 212. So an adult by our terms.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that 29 to 55-year-old range for you.
Yep, that makes sense to me.
I suppose my your tabula rasa theory does leave out the individual choice and action, let alone the will of the gods and such things. I would have been fine, I think, if he had come back to kill me, if he had come back to seize control of the Misty Forest, although Fallonmeyer Pinkblossom would have stopped him with her magics.
Of course. No one could possibly defeat her.
Of course not, no, none at all. But he didn't do that. He didn't do either of those things. He didn't come back seeking forgiveness. He didn't come back angry. He didn't come back sad. He instead conspired with a cult and fell under the sway of dragons and attempted to overthrow the entire world, which has truly nothing to do with me. That's not, fuck you, Dad, I'm taking your place. It's, fuck you, Toriel, I will upend the natural order and hand it over to the tyranny of dragons. Trademark. So, this does bring me a modicum of comfort, I suppose. It would seem that, although I could have done things differently, it was his choices that doomed him.
Well, I mean, it was his choices, and I think there's kind of two things that I would suggest you kind of factor in as you're trying to move forwards, because people will tell you got to get over stuff that's distracting you, and you got to write down shit about it or whatever.
Oh, yes, journaling, I do that.
Okay, perfect.
Do you,
do you have a
helpful.
therapist?
No, I live in the woods.
You might be you could probably book a therapist to come out to the woods. But there's like, grief stays with you, man. Like, here's the secret. It never goes away. You're never less sad about it. You just move forwards, and you don't think about it quite as often. And then it surprises you, and then it continues. Because grief is just like caring about somebody. It's all the care you didn't get to give, and it sounds like you had a lot of care that you didn't get to give, especially with like expecting another like 900,000 years of care. But like, you got to own the stuff you did, which is like you focused on being a king more than being a dad.
And I exiled him. I straight up sent him away. That's on me.
And you did that. So yeah, that happened. And you could look back and go, maybe I'd have done it different if you knew the consequences that you have now, but you made the best choices that you could at the time, and you dedicated yourself to the crown. And honestly, that's kind of expected, and it's one of the reasons I don't have kids. Because I don't know how to make that decision. It's too complicated. And I know what I'd be supposed to be doing, but I think I'd be bad at it. So that is the mistake that was theoretically made if you could have balanced it a different way.
Okay, you're laying down some good truths here. I'm going to need another hand of beer.
Oh, yeah, here you go. This is beer.
Beer hand.
Beer, fabulous.
Okay, continue.
The thing that I would suggest you think about the rest is when your son left, and then he didn't come back to be like, fuck you, Dad, I'm going to kill you, or any kind of the classic prince is exiled and comes back with an army or whatever.
To be or not to be, etc.
He needed to set up a new thing to matter, whether it's to rail against or move towards. And he needed a thing to then conquer. So, like, falling in with bad people when you get exiled from a family, especially if they had, like, money and stuff like that, it's pretty appealing. A lot of people tend to get pretty radicalized, especially when they feel like they have been from the outside and they're not listened to and they don't have the power. And then you can kind of, a lot of people are willing to lie to them and just tell them, like, oh, well, the reason that you were exiled for this thing is actually because you're a genius and everything's evil. And then people can kind of get suckered into these very unfortunate cults and movements and do stuff that's really not in their own interest in any way, shape, or form. A lot of them go anti-union. It's a real problem.
He wasn't even the top of the cult. He was mid-level.
Exactly, because they suborn everything to these ideals. But if you're looking at like the idea that you don't matter, when you are a kid or a teenager or any of that, you know, for an elf, for your first 100 and something years, your parent is the whole world. So he turned around and found a group that wanted to take over and reshape the whole world in a way that he thought he would have power and importance and control. So, like, there's no way you weren't on his mind through that whole thing. He wasn't trying to escape this dimension, magically possible. He wasn't trying to forge an alliance in heaven or hell, completely possible, and he could be doing that. Sounds like he had ambition and ability and, like, some pretty great elven training. He could have done any of that. Instead, he wanted to come to your world and put dragons in charge. Who are like old and wise, and he knew how to theoretically supplicate to them. It may not have been very smart at taking the deal, but like he wasn't in charge, so clearly.
Well, he also wasn't that smart. Just in general.
Mid-range guy, it happens. Yeah. I'm not that smart. You can still do well. But he really just...
He raises an eyebrow.
But like he needed to escape the idea of you, and there was a big emptiness, and he filled it with some bullshit. He fortunately filled it with dragons. And I'll tell you, from today's dragons, some of them are quite bad. If he'd fallen in with the Frondu family, I feel like you'd have a very different son and would have been led in a very different direction. He'd probably be a professor.
Wow.
But that still is about you. The idea that any child completely escapes the effect of their parent, no. That's bullshit. That's what people say when they're angry. Except for Grayson. I don't know him, and he wasn't there for my childhood.
Just
Whatever.
Just
That's
a
just
guy.
a guy. It's just a guy. Whatever. And he's dead.
Give me more
Fuck him.
hand ale.
Oh, yeah, here's some hand ale. There you go.
Sip.
Okay. Yeah. So what I would say is looking forwards, looking back and acknowledging something, if you consider it a mistake, is important. And wondering about people's motivations can be valuable up to a point. But like where you really should be keeping your eyes is forwards and not repeating those mistakes. And as somebody who, do you have kids now?
Yes, I have other kids.
Were they like that age?
Oh, they're older now, but many of them stayed and respect what we're trying to do here.
So they're all like
the
200
Misty
plus.
Forest.
They're adults,
Yes,
etc.
yeah,
Okay. But you don't have like young kids. You don't have any kids under 100.
Oh, no, I'm too old for that.
Okay, fair enough. So
I'm just too tired. I don't want to be chasing them around and watching the Wiggles with them. The Wiggles is a local group of elves who perform.
Oh, great. Yeah, we got a guy who paints himself blue, calls himself Bluey. I don't know what he's doing, but people are going
interesting.
nuts.
Sounds a lot better than the Wiggles.
Honestly, the reviews coming in are pretty shocking. Almost as good as the stage play Paddington 2.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that thing's been said to be perfect.
I do like that one.
Yeah, I heard great things. I haven't seen it myself, but I keep hearing that it's perfect. Here's the thing. You're a king now, and you've always focused on the crown, which is good. You don't have kids that age, so you're not going to like worry about your crown kid balance where you are. What I would say is securing a future for your kingdom and for the children in your kingdom is very important, and helping your subjects not make the same mistake of over-focusing on work and under-focusing on family, that's your driving force, because that's a positive legacy you can build from the loss of your son.
I see. I need to teach them that it's all about family.
Yeah.
And also the future of the nation. And so
being
on.
who you are individually also important.
Yes.
But like, if you can help an entire nation of people not make the same mistake that you made and not become people like your son, you can essentially look at yourself doing so much good in your son's name for the son and the potential that was lost, that he can still have a positive impact on the rest of the history of this kingdom.
And is that what you're doing?
I'm trying, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was fighting a fucking dragon, and then it became a necromancer, and like my fallback, if I had not done a real wild swing that worked after, as far as I could tell, a couple of really long odds things just kind of happened. You know how sometimes combat feels like gambling? I was probably going to have to go back and bring an army and threaten to wipe out an entire continent of lizard folk. So like,
Can I tell you a secret?
yeah?
I once had not Fallonmeyer Pinkblossom, because she would have had a better plan. She was tied up in High Forest, but
That's probably why your son didn't come back. He had Fallonmeyer. There was no way he could win. Needed dragons.
I had a whole plan to burn the forest down. I'd rigged up fire mages. We had to fall back, and I thought we were going to have to take whoever we could and just make for High Forest. And the only way I could ensure that any forest survived was to kill our enemies here at the sacrifice of our entire home and ecosystem and everything in it. And we won. We didn't need to. It didn't happen. And I still, every time I see the positions where I placed those mages, it haunts me what could have been. But as you say, sometimes combat is like gambling, and sometimes if it goes another way, then I, like my son, would be standing amidst the ashes, probably with a team of dragons, screaming nonsense and trying to burn everything. So it happens. It will happen again. And you just do the best you can to make it through. And the fact that you're able to bring down a dragon yourselves, no second tyrannies here, no shitty sequels, just dead on the coast. You saved a lot of people, and the lizard folk are now allied. Incredible. Not bad.
Yeah, so maybe take some of that energy and turn it back towards yourself, buddy. Have you looked in a mirror lately? Could you imagine if you said what you just said to me, but to you, about your experience with your son?
No. But I shall.
Sometimes it takes a thoughtful king to be able to support a thoughtful king. And right now we have each other, but when I'm not here, maybe you think about what I'd say, and I'll think about what you'd say when I'm having tough times. Also, you know how we do a lot of writing to ourselves? We could actually write to each other.
Butthole, I will admit, I've been waiting for someone I could speak to about these sorts of matters for some time, and though she is brilliant, Fallonmeyer Pinkblossom is not that person.
She doesn't seem like a gentle place to fall. Seems a little too talented.
Yes, quite. I always worry that she will have seen with the magics a solution that I had not.
Oh, man, she will tell you when she does.
Exactly,
Oh, God,
and she will be right to do so.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way we'll learn. Yes.
Fucking hell.
But I appreciate this gift you've given me, Your Highness. Please take as long as you need here in the forest before you return. You've given me much to think about, and yes, I look forward to our future correspondence.
Yeah, we can trade letters. We can do some calls. Also, we've got a portal right at the base of our castle, so like open borders, swing by anytime you want. You got standing permissions. I got a gatekeeper. He's like 13. I'm working on getting an older one.
Oh.
At least a second shift. That kid has to work 24 hours a day.
I see. Well, I will speak to Fallonmeyer Pinkblossom and see if there's anyone we can send over to assist.
Oh, cool. That'd be great. Yeah.
The Raven Gates are not technology that we built long ago, perhaps. There's usually an elven connection to mystical nonsense left alone in forests and under trees. And
I believe it. You guys live a long time.
Yes. So I don't necessarily have anyone who's like, this is,
Oh, I'm not looking for an answer to this problem. I'm just saying, like, you can come visit anytime.
Wonderful,
Even
yes.
if it's just you and you're like, hey, man, I just need a place to crash. I'm kind of drunk. Like, come on over.
Holds out his hand.
Get more ale. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we should probably stop drinking because we have to go down this ladder, but I appreciate
I don't know, man. I'm wearing a lot of armor.
You are wearing a lot of armor. That is true.
I got some healing spells now. I took a sleep.
Well, you can go down where you like. I'm going to have a little sit here and a little think about what you told me. But thank you, Butthole. I appreciate this greatly.
Yeah, thank you, too. This is nice. More people need to do this and less bringing dragons back to life and making them kill your friends.
Yeah, fuck dragons.
Honestly. Except for Frondu. He's okay.
Yeah, so he sounds okay.
You come meet him. We got an amphitheater. Anyways, I'll let you think.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
All right, time to climb down this. He's very carefully
athletics at
down.
advantage or at disadvantage.
He's guiding himself. He's in trouble. That's not bad.
Makes sense. You're tooting as you're going down.
I gotta do it twice. Oh, there we go. There's the net one.
Oh man.
He hits the ground at the bottom of the ladder.
You fall from and 1 day's worth of recuperation and rest for Butthole, having fallen from great heights later. All of you are ready to return. You make your way to the portal. Fallonmeyer has already returned to the High Forest, but the king and his court are there to see you. He whistles twice, and 6 red deer leap out of the woods and do one of those Lion King bows to see you on your way.
See, now those aren't donkeys.
No one's saying they are.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I like that way better than donkeys.
Sure. Good.
Okay.
Perfect.
There was no donkey.
I know, but the mule was close.
With that, you step through the portal and return to Asgard.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante, Tyler Hewitt, and Laura Hamstra, alongside our Dungeon Master, Tom McGee. This episode was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork was created by Del Borovic at delborovic.com. That's DELBOROVIC.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad breaks use the tracks No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR. All of their music is available at freemusicarchive.org. For all things Dum Dums and Dice, including merchandise and how to join our Patreon, you can visit dumdumdice.com or find us on social media at dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum Dums and Dragons.
Dum Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: George Dolby, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Alarain Okapi, Madre de Gatos, Mithrian, Garbo Ape, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dia de los Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Remy Funky Head, Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky, Lael, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, Megan Werner, A Man Out of Time, Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com, Panda24NN, Shendra D, Your Homeboy Bones, Ellis Hatch, Odigenous, Kai Koa, Squire Solaire, Sandy Sassy Pants, Amira Lockhart, James Molina, Nick Hemsing, Alex LaFountain, Mickey Blake, Seth Cambron, Corpse Knight Silver, Adamir 101, The Dankler, Anticore 7, Lady Destiny Stormbringer, Randall Eberly, the Yes Bud of improvisational comedy, Lord Taser, Funky Stevie, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.